Today we are at Chipotle to continue our series called The Best, where we highlight our best orders at restaurants or in each category. Now, Chipotle is a place that needs zero introduction. Most people have an order that they rock with. I am just the same, so I'm going to show you what I have. Now, Chipotle's been a pretty polarizing one over the years, either due to food prices. They've had a bunch of different things with like E. coli, believe it or not. And of course, with their portion control and portion sizes, people get really upset about that. I've always been a person that Chipotle is hit or miss for me. It really depends on the time I go, the locations that I go to, and a bunch of other factors that everybody kind of knows what I'm talking about. But this is my Chipotle order, as in the best one that I like. I like to get a burrito bowl with a side tortilla. By the way, my food came out to, I got my receipt right here. It came out to $16.31. That includes everything, so you have to pay extra for some of the stuff that I got on the side. The vinaigrette they charge you extra for, as well as the side tortilla and the queso and sour cream. So this is a chicken burrito bowl with the toppings as such. I have chicken, I have black beans, I have white rice, I have pico, corn salsa, cheese, sour cream is on the side, and hot salsa. I couldn't think of the last one. What I do, which a lot of people do, again, I didn't invent this. This is something that everybody does in the same way. You get a side tortilla, you make a burrito, and you eat the rest like a bowl. And that's pretty much what you're going to do. So the process goes like so. I order this, and then this is like every single time that you do this, the only problem is if you don't like take this apart right away, sometimes it can get stuck, and you'll end up with a ripped tortilla. So you got to be careful with this for anybody who's never done that before. And you just lay this bad boy in here like so, and you add as much toppings as you like. I usually will go for about a quarter to three, about half, a little under half, a third. That's better. We'll do a third of the burrito bowl with everything in there, and then we'll add some other stuff to this, and that's all you need. Now you have an entire burrito bowl on top of your burrito, which is a wonderful thing. I never get chips and salsa from Chipotle. I used to get their chips, but I always have bad luck. I just think they're too salty. So I rarely, if ever, get them from now on. I do pretty much what everybody else does, which is the cool thing, and I get Doritos. I feel like I did that without knowing anybody else did it, but I've seen it a lot more recently. Again, I don't take credit for stuff like that because it's just a big bag thing. Like, anybody would do that. But I put something in the damn burrito. I'm going with Cool Ranch this time. Purple bag will be for the outside, and I just go a little bit of crunch in there, a little bit of crunch in there. A little bit of crunch in there. I don't know why I keep repeating myself. And then you go in with some vinaigrette. So I just do a little side like this. Keep this off to the side. And we go with their thin sour cream. Y'all can't see that. That's going to need a little bit more vinaigrette. A little bit, not too much more. A little bit more. There we go. This is like, everybody does this now. I did not. I tried this because of like TikTok, I think. So I'm not gonna sit here and lie about that one. And you got that wonderful vinaigrette sauce that you can assemble in there. And then I go to a little bit of queso. The process. It's about the process. You gotta trust the process. There we go. I'll be honest with you. I'm working fast because this smells really good, and I'm hungry as hell. I don't know why. Recently, I just feel a little more hungry. I like being hungry. Sometimes I don't be hungry, and sometimes I be hungry. And when you're hungry, when you're doing the best, it's going to work even better out. So there you go. You got a whole burrito, pretty decent size, again, about the standard size Chipotle burrito, and then I got an entire burrito bowl on the side. So now, we got our purple bag burritos. We're going to have some nachos on the side. I was going to get 2 bags of purple. They didn't have the big bag. I usually just get the big bag. And I saw that Doritos says that this is now spicier. They're spicy nachos. And I like the red bag, so I said, okay, let's try it out. Pretty much what I did there. And then the Cool Ranch, I accidentally scanned it at the Wawa twice. I scanned it 3 times, and I just grabbed another bag. There's more. You got to make sure you incorporate. I am a burrito mixer, so you got to do the mixy mix, and then get everything on the top of this. Get everything on the top of this, so that everything is nice and mixed. You don't have to overdo it, but there was a place that used to be here, but when I was in Iowa, it was right across the street from where I lived. It was called Pancheros, and Pancheros used to be out here on the East Coast, but they, for whatever reason, they went away. And Pancheros used to actually have they would mix the burrito before they wrapped it up. Like, they would put everything in the burrito, and then they would mix it up and then wrap the burrito up, which it's a complete big back move, and I love it. And I don't know why more places don't adopt that. Like, I guess some people don't like the mix, so I guess that's why. That would make sense. I'm gonna go in with my line of queso. And then we'll keep these on the side. I know that was a long-winded intro, but this is my best Chipotle order right here. I wanted to show the process of it instead, because some people, anytime I don't, people are like, why didn't you show it? And I agree with that. Like, you know, you can always fast forward through that part. I'm gonna put a timestamp right here, so all you people that fast forwarded through the process, don't ask me how I made it. I just showed you. Anyway, let's get into this with this Dorito. This is the spicy nacho one. I should have tried the burrito first. Not that it's gonna matter, but there we go. I'll be honest, they actually are spicier. A little bit of queso. I've seen one video where a dude had a burrito bowl and he bought taco shells and he put them in there. That looked crazy. I'm gonna have to try that. I think somebody tagged me in it. I don't know who did it. So I've never seen it again. But that is my kind of big backery. Okay. So we got our burrito version. My answer to everything when it comes to, do I prefer a burrito or a burrito bowl? This is the best preference to me, because you can control how much you put in your burrito. And 9 times out of 10, look how much is left over. I basically have an entire other burrito bowl in there. So some people like to eat their Chipotle bowl where they save a bunch of it and they eat it later. I used to do that too. But I honestly might do. This might just be my food for the day today. Because for the most part, it's chicken, rice, beans, and I've obviously got sour cream and stuff. Not the Doritos part, but just the Chipotle. And that would still probably be okay for me. And this way, the reason that I put the sour cream on the side is for that reason. I can control how much or how little I use. So instead of having like an entire glob of sour cream, I have it all on the side. And I might use more, but you know, I'd rather have that kind of stuff on the side that I can control it. I like the Doritos in here. Oh, this, it's sparkling ice. I think it sells these at Walmart, but I got them off Amazon because I needed to order something overnight. And Amazon has a thing. They can't overnight it unless you spend $25. So I added this on. That's why I got it. I think it was like $12 or $13 for a 12-pack. I needed batteries, like quick. So I was like, all right, you got to do something. That's how Amazon gets you. It's smart. You would think it was probably to offset the cost, though. That makes sense. Of using those overnight people. I'm sure logistically, I know they have warehouses all over the place, so it's probably alleviated a lot more now. But they got to make their money. And the crazy part is, as much as there's an issue with big business in general, which I do agree, Amazon is so damn convenient that I use it a lot. Like, I've probably sent Jeff Bezos to space like twice already. Because the story was this. This is how you know my videos are unscripted, by the way. I don't even know how we got to this, but the story was this. Last night, I had in my studios, I have like CO2 detectors, and you have to change them every year because the fire inspector's coming. Everything has to be up to code. And one of my like smoke detectors, it started beeping like a week ago. Of course. So I wanted to buy the type of batteries that last much longer. And I wanted them by tomorrow because they said it's supposed to show up this week. It's Monday. And instead of going and getting them, because I figured this yesterday at like 8 p.m., I was like, I'll just order on Amazon. It was at my house. I woke up in the morning and it was there. Super convenient. Also, these are fire. They are spicier, and I like them. That's why I keep going back to this and not the damn burrito. They're a little hotter. If you can't tell, I like my food a little on the spicy side. I need a little kick. I'm sure something eventually will either replace or enhance it. As a kid, Walmart was the same thing. And people, if you're not old enough, might not realize this, but there was a point in time where Walmart was literally Amazon before Amazon. And let me kind of flesh that out before people go, what do you mean? It doesn't make sense ordering stuff. Okay. Amazon basically did to Walmart what Walmart did to every business in convenience and the fact that you can get anything there. So, when I was a kid in the 90s, there were a lot more, you rarely see these places anymore, mom and pop convenience type of stores. Like, there might be people that owned a sporting goods store that was family owned for 50 years, appliance stores, electronic stores, stuff like that. It was normal to be in like a town and them to have like, you know, the hardware store. You wanted a bike, you went to the bike shop. You wanted a stove, you went to the appliance store, and so on. Walmart put all that stuff under one roof and cheaper. And they did this systematically. They basically went to small towns and said, we can put all these places out of business, open up Walmart. And they did, because long story short, Walmart buys enough product to be able to sell it at a lower price, closer to cost than a mom and pop place. They'll buy much more items to move in their stores. And there's other things before people start to elaborate. You can, I'm trying to make this like really simple. There's other things that go into that. But long story short, they can sell the same stuff for cheaper. And you don't have to go to 10 different stores. And for the most part, it's not as much anymore. They were open 24 hours a day. So, whatever the hell you needed, you went to Walmart. And as much as people want to support small businesses, it was cheaper. Double whammy. Walmart sell a TV for cheaper than the appliance store. So, after all those years, people stopped going to the appliance stores to electronic stores. They go to Walmart. It's at the point now where mom and pop like types of stores like that, they rarely exist. Now, there are still some chain hardware stores like Home Depot, for example, which specializes, so they have more stuff than you can't really buy everything from Walmart in the hardware department, but if you need like a wrench, you can go to Walmart. People who are serious about building stuff won't go there, but that's not what it's marketed towards. And I would say up until the late 2000s, Walmart had a stranglehold. When 2010 hit, it started to trend in the direction of Amazon. Amazon basically built a Walmart digitally. So now you want something, you can just go to Amazon, type it in, and not only does one pop up, you can look at 500 of them and pick out the brand that you want. And pretty much everything under the sun is available at Amazon. There's not much you can't buy on Amazon. Like, you can buy a car on Amazon right now. You have a partnership with Hyundai. That's how crazy it is. There's rarely, like, there's not much you can't get. I need a spaceship. I actually think you can buy a boat. But you get the idea. So, now, their e-commerce drove Walmart down a little more. And the one thing that Walmart had that Amazon is now cutting into is, okay, but even if I have Prime, I gotta wait 2 days. Or some people don't want to pay the Prime membership. Those are still some things. But now with the overnight delivery, and Walmart's not open 24 hours anymore, where I live, it's getting tough. It's getting real tough. That kind of sucks for the small business owners, which I get, because it's happening in the food industry to a certain extent as well. The company Blackstone buying Jersey Mike's and kind of what it did to it. And it's a very common theme in the food industry as well. Amazon does the same thing. Like Ring, which is now synonymous with Amazon, owned by Amazon, under their umbrella, same idea. They sold to Amazon for billions. And that's like the new American dream when it comes to really anything. It's just making sure that you get to these big dogs, they can pay your way and pay you out of stuff. So it kind of sucks, but it's the times we live in. It's funny because I intended to talk about something else before this, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit. This is crazy because we've talked about these same three people 5 billion times, and it doesn't actually pertain to sports this time, though. But this is more of friendly advice for people and what I think about the situation. I'm sure if you've watched my channel at all, I've mentioned Travis Hunter 5 billion times. This has nothing to do with football. This has everything to do with, right now, he is viral, in my opinion, and it's not his fault, for the wrong reasons. He has a fiance, and she's gone viral at this point because people don't like the way that she treats him, and they think she's a red flag, and that she's going to be an issue going forward in the relationship. I can point out there was one instance, for example, where, again, they make a lot of content together. They're featured on each other's pages a lot. They've been together for like 5 years, I believe. They do a lot of like Q&As, and like most couples do when they make content, right? So they asked the story of how they got together, and more or less she said that she wasn't interested in him at all in the beginning. And he like kept messaging her, and finally she said fine, and now they're together. Paraphrasing. There's more to it than that. I do also know that she was in college. She is older than him as far as like grades. So that was an issue for her as well. But now people are scrubbing through their content. There was an incident, the Heisman thing, where she looked like she was upset about him taking pictures. Nobody's really sure why. People think it's either because it was with girls or he was taking too long. There was an instance at the game, the last game they played, where I guess he was celebrating with the cheerleaders. Or I couldn't tell what was happening in that instance. I was watching the game, but I don't know if he smiled at the cheerleaders or what. But when he went to give her a kiss after the game, she was kind of like with him. And so, of course, everybody's going to put their 2 cents in, and everybody's like, you know, there's celebrities out saying you need to leave her, former athletes saying you need to leave her, she's going to take your money, blah, blah. That's my original point, land the plane. He streams on Twitch. He's streaming, and he kind of, you know, got upset because he doesn't like all the people going after his girl, which, what guy wouldn't defend his girl? I understand from the outside looking in, but if you love your girl, you're going to defend her to the world. Like, that doesn't make sense. So people saying whatever. Long story short, he said that she's so sad, she was crying all night, and she drank herself to sleep. And the only 2 things I have to say about this is the other side of fame that people don't necessarily talk about that can be tough to deal with. It's why I don't like making my private relationships public. Whether that's someone I'm dating, whether that's family, once their information is on the internet, no matter how harmless you think it is, once enough I see it, there will be negativity that comes with it. That just comes with the territory. So people are going to try to pick apart everything that they do. There's people who dedicate their entire lives to this. I'm not even saying it in a bad way. It's like their content is to do that. You know, to spill the tea and all that. That's what people do. So it's tough because when you get to that level, people look at it. They don't really look at them as people anymore. They're going to come after you. And if you're not used to it, you need really thick skin because it can get to be a bit much. That's why I've always preferred to keep my relationship private, because I don't need nobody in my business putting things in my head or my significant other's head or my family's head or whatever that aren't in normal relationships. When you're in a spotlight, it's completely different. The other thing is, Mike, my opinion about this. I get that people like look at this and they go, well, you know, they're just trying to help him out. He's no good for her. I've always come from this perspective of like, why do you care so much? Like, if you don't know him personally, even if he got divorced and she took all his money, worst case scenario, it wouldn't change your life at all. I don't get why people have this invested concern that I think it's fake. Like, there was one celebrity, and I like this dude, this comedian, his name is Godfrey. I think he's funny. He made his whole thing, I just care about you, bro. You don't know him. Why do you care about him? You know, like, at the end of the day, I don't really think you care, because if you do, like, if I care about somebody and I'm actually concerned, like, say I had a friend that was going through it, the last thing on my mind would be, I'm gonna make a TikTok about this. At the end of the day, if you're really concerned, send him a DM. If he doesn't see it, that's on him. But putting it out there on the internet and monetizing it, like, you don't really care. Like, you don't care at all. You're just trying to make money by talking about a relevant topic, but that's somebody's relationship, which, again, he put it out there, and that's tough. But at the same time, I never understood. It's why people are like, oh, don't do that, man. I'm just trying to look out for you. You're not. If he stopped playing football tomorrow, which I hope he never does because he's a great player, people would be like, oh, that sucks. And then in 5 minutes, they wouldn't care. They're going about their lives. So to act like they have a vested concern in somebody that has nothing to do with you, I always thought it was just super weird. Always. But that's just the nature of the times. But I just keep seeing all these people making all these TikToks, all these YouTube videos, and I'm going, I get it. That's your job. Your job is to make content about people, but just don't pawn it off. Like, I don't mind those, like, T channels when they just tell you what it is, because that's just what's going to happen. But I don't like when people try to, like, they call it virtue signaling. Like, when people try to act like there's a genuine, you don't care. You don't. You can have empathy for somebody without feeling like you need to put it on blast in front of a million people to be like, I'm just telling everybody my personal feelings about your personal relationship because I care about you, bro. I just think it's weird. I don't know. I just want to talk about that because it's been annoying all day. Me personally, again, if it ain't my business, it ain't my business, and I'm not gonna say nothing because this is a relationship. No matter what y'all say, y'all did this to Simone Biles the same way. She's still with Jonathan Owens. She's still there. They're still married. And you don't care. So it's just like a topic of the week for you. But that's their lives. So if he wants to be with her, then just let him be with her. That's his girl. That's his wife. Soon. Just let him do it. Do I think she's there for the wrong reasons? I don't know them. I have no idea. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes of that relationship. Hypothetically speaking, I don't know if this is true. This is a speculation. She could be as jealous as she is because she caught him cheating. You don't know that. I'm not saying that he did. I don't know what he did. Maybe she is crazy. I don't know. But we don't know. So sitting there, she could be there the whole time being like, I'm not going to tell everybody what really happened because that's going to make you look bad. And we don't know. So just let them do them. If it comes to that, what it comes to, and they get divorced, and he's got a head coach, father figure, mentor figure in him and Deion Sanders, who has literally been divorced under the same circumstances, if he gonna listen to anybody, it's gonna be Prime, not y'all. I don't know. Anyway, I devoured this whole thing because it was delicious, and I had a really good workout today. Still got a little congestion. I'm sorry about that. So if you hear like a little nasally, I'm usually nasally anyway. I love y'all, man. We'll be back tomorrow. More content, man. And hand signs. They made it to YouTube.